Coming up on this episode of Don't Panic, we've got tech news, who knew? Including stories such as Amazon booting Chromecast and Apple TV off of Amazon. What's the deal with that? We're also going to talk about Tesla's super new car with its fancy new doors. We're going to talk about all the things Google announced this week, including new Chromecasts, new Nexus phones, and a really expensive tablet. We've got great picks. It's going to be a fun episode. Join us. Don't Panic is going to start for you right now. This is Don't Panic, episode number 106, recorded October 5th, 2015, on Chromecasted, Gull-wing doors, and Nexus X&P. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast that can feel the chill in the air. I'm Sean Jennings, and I'm joined, as always, I had one of these prepared, Colby, so I'm going to do it anyway. I am joined by the Al Roker and Willard Scott of technology. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods. It's just Colby Rabideau. I had it, and then I lost it.
Who's Willard Scott?
He's another famous weatherman. He did the Today Show before Al Roker.
Nice.
And he was the one, I don't know if you ever saw it, well, they used to do this, he'd congratulate people when they turned 100, the Smuckers. He would always do their birthday. And Agnes so-and-so from Peoria, Illinois, turned 103 today.
Nice.
And he would do that. And he was actually the original Ronald McDonald, way back in like the 50s when they first did it.
Weird.
Yeah, and that was back when it was like really sketchy and
yeah,
not at all legitimate. So, Colby, what's going on, good sir?
Not much. I'm trying to think if anything happened between this week and last week. I don't think anything really did. Yeah. We didn't have the Goldilocks Zone show that we teased.
I know. I feel bad because we had such a great tease on the last episode, and then my Time Warner just ceased to exist for a couple days. And I did not realize, Colby, how dependent I was on technology. I literally fell into a depression. I literally just sat on my couch. And what really pissed me off was I had like 500 channels on satellite, and I was still bored to hell. It was bad. I have a problem. So I had my phone tethered to my laptop and was eating through my data. I was like,
nice.
But it's working, and we will do the Goldilocks Zone this week.
Yeah, I'm glad you survived.
Barely.
Yeah, that's.
But I have a greater appreciation for the internet now. I think I've lived what it's like on the other side, and I'll tell you, Colby, it's not pretty.
It's a harrowing experience.
It is. The grass is not always greener. So hopefully that'll never happen again. Although it's Time Warner, so it will happen again. I don't doubt
It's almost guaranteed to happen again.
It's basically a promise. Fantastic. Well, now joining us, our regular co-host, Dan Miller.
Wow.
Dan Miller, we started without you, so we already did the intros. We're just impatient people.
That is perfectly fine.
What's going on, Dan?
Not much.
Just walks away.
He's like, all right, that's it. Good show, guys. Good show.
Played some Magic the Gathering. That was fun.
Nice.
Oh, did you win?
No. We got destroyed.
Yeah, it turns out people who play Magic the Gathering are very good at Magic the Gathering.
I was not aware of that.
They don't tell you that. Well, it sounds like you were getting ready for our big Dungeons and Dragons episode this week.
That's true. I was. Because as I was walking home, I thought I was making plans for Wednesday, and then I didn't have on my calendar now that our new Dungeons and Dragons game is on Wednesday.
Yes, I again apologize for the unfortunate series of events, but oh well. Well, we will get it done this week. Join us, won't you? Dan, how are things otherwise?
Good? Great. But the most exciting thing that happened to me today was I got randomly included in this study group of people from Marist who just added me to their Facebook chat about some...
That happened to me once a while ago.
How did that happen to you? You have the most unique name ever.
Oh yeah,
I'm
there
sure
were
there's
like 10
4
Dan Millers.
Right, exactly. So, and I went to Marist, so they probably think they've got the right person. I've been playing along.
Oh no, that's not nice.
That's fantastic.
It's been pretty great. I hope one of them is listening so that they catch on. But it appears to be some sort of sociology / human sexuality class, which makes it even better.
So are you actually helping them out, or are you
Oh
trying
yeah. No, I'm getting a free sociology class out of this, I think.
to... Does it count for credit?
No, I don't think so. My favorite one so far was about halfway through when I decided I was going to respond. Someone asked the question, "What are the benefits of monogamy?" And then I answered, "There are none." And then they said, "Seriously?" And then I sent the Pusheen cat eating a pizza. And then she sent the Pusheen cat crying.
Horrific.
Then I gave a real answer. And even cited a source. 2 sources.
Snap.
It's more work than I ever did in school.
Anyways, that's my day.
Nice.
I did that after I got destroyed at Magic the Gathering.
I see.
Those kids are lucky to have you. Cool. Well, this is Don't Panic, the technology podcast. We will talk about technology, I promise, after all of our shenanigans. Of course, the website is don'tpanic.io. I think you should go there. It's a great website. It's got all the links to all the stuff, all the episodes, audio, video, places to subscribe, social media links, the whole 9 yards. I'll specifically call out that you can subscribe to us on most major podcast apps, Pocket Casts, Overcast. Just search Don't Panic, and of course on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. We've got some tech news here. Not a huge week for news. Most of it around Google and a few little stories here and there. We'll have a lot more news next. Well, maybe not more news. We'll have different news next week because there's a big Microsoft event this week where they will announce new Surfaces and new Lumias and things like that. So we will talk about that. This week, gentlemen, any particular story in the rundown you would like to talk about, or something that's not in the rundown you would like to talk about?
The Apple Maps one?
I figured this would apply to you very specifically, Colby. I said this is Colby's story.
So supposedly Apple Maps added support for public transit directions in Boston. As far as I can tell, that is not the case.
It works in New York.
Yeah, well, New York was one of the originally supported ones, but this was like they added it, right? Like there was public transit, but not only in certain cities. Supposedly it's working in Boston, but I tried very hard, and it said it was not available repeatedly.
Did you really want it though?
No, I just wanted to try it.
That's why I could tell that you didn't really want it.
I guess that must be. It's using this secret like biometric sensors built into the iPhone.
Yeah. It's the i9 emotional capacity sensor they added.
Yeah, it could sense my desire.
Yeah,
or lack thereof.
Emotional capacitor.
Yeah, but in any case, I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe it's an incremental rollout, but I have been unsuccessful so far.
You know, it's interesting. I was reading an article today, and I wish I remember knew the name of the blog, but it was a blog that went into all the details and all the ways that Apple Maps still absolutely sucks. Because I don't know about you guys, I never use Apple Maps, ever. Also, by the way, interesting to note, Google Maps released this week their Apple Watch app. Interesting to think about, but you know, it's even simple things like searching for City Hall, and it gives you a list of city halls across the country, not the ones near you. I mean, it's just little things that are kind of baffling about Apple Maps. I mean, do you guys have any thoughts on Apple Maps as a whole? Do you use Apple Maps? Have you just written it off completely?
I use it sometimes. Walking directions is fine in New York. I find that it loads faster than Google Maps also, which is nice, at least on iOS. The transit directions, I've tried it a couple times and then checked Google, and they've been right. They get the closings, and they know about delays.
That's good.
Yeah, so It's been fine for me. I haven't used it driving anywhere.
Yeah. I just don't really use it. I only use it when I get like kicked into it from some app that I wasn't expecting to get kicked into it from. But for the most part, I use Google Maps for all my transiting needs, or City Mapper for public transit stuff, because it has more contextual information that I need to I don't know, to guess which will be the least bad way to get home.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm slowly getting away from this idea of built-in apps, because I think there's so many different use cases for a lot of these things. Like, if I want transit directions, there's going to be a better app for that than Apple Maps. If I want Waze is a good example. If you want alerts, you use Waze. If you want people to track where you're driving, you use Glimpse. If you want, they're just more specific apps. And then I think about browsers. Safari is good, but there's so many other options. It's like, I don't know. I'm not digging the built-in apps as much anymore, and why Apple continues to put effort into focusing. I mean, I guess you want people to stay in the Apple ecosystem, so it makes sense to develop your own. But
yeah. I mean, their Maps app can do things that the other apps can't do, like the lock screen view. Which, I mean, they can make an API for it, but they never do that. The integration with the watch early on was something you couldn't do with Google Maps. I think Google Maps does have a watch app now, though I haven't tried it.
Yeah.
And it works for me. Maybe eventually it might be good enough. I'll just be too lazy to use the Google one.
It's honestly whatever app is best for you.
I do dislike the interface on the Google one for the most part. It's like really kludgy.
Yeah, and too many clicks to do things. What I find is something it takes 3 or 4 menus to get through, rather than just one tap to do something.
This is Google Maps or
Google
something
Maps.
else? Yeah, it does, like, I agree. I always have a hard time like finding the menu, which is a little annoying.
Oh yeah, because it's all not iOS standard.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
off.
Well, I mean, it's very like what's Google's thing, like
material.
Yeah,
paper.
Sorry, I knew it was something like that.
Close enough.
It's on the right track, on a track.
You were on a track, that's for sure.
I think Safari is really the only like built-in Apple app I use, besides like iMessage and the phone.
Yeah, I mean, you think about like Mail or Calendar, or I don't know. I only use Mail and Calendar because of my work exchange only is locked into using those, and I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I use Calendar for notifications only because the notifications come through better on my Pebble. But I use Sunrise to actually do calendar stuff, which is a little roundabout. But it works. It works fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Solid discussion.
Yeah. In any case, to come full circle, I was a little disappointed that I could not get transit directions. But I'm sure it's coming because it is on their website.
When it turns on, you'll have to give us a full report of how it goes, and if you fell into an open manhole or some other transit calamity. Whatever, walked in front of a train or God knows what.
Yep.
Very good. Let's see. What else from
Let's roll into the Google hardware now.
Let's do the Google hardware announcement. This was their big fall announcement right before the holiday selling season. Some people, don't want to forget, Google makes hardware. And they announced some new stuff, so let's talk about what they announced. Mostly based around phones and television were kind of the big thing, with a few other things sprinkled in. We'll start with the phones. Nexus, you're going to get 2 new phones from Google, starting with the more expensive version, the 6P. It's got, here are the new things for you. USB Type-C. including faster charging. It will have a new fingerprint sensor on the back, what they call Nexus imprint, and they say it's fast and better and all those things. 8-megapixel front camera, 12.3 megapixel Sony sensor on the back, including 4K video. Available in 3 colors, starting at $499 off contract, with pre-orders beginning now, shipping at the end of October. They also announced the 5X, the cheaper version, 5.2-inch screen. It has the fingerprint sensor on the back and USB-C as well. It just doesn't have as good of a camera or a processor, but it is cheaper at $379. Pre-order available today, again, shipping in October. Launching on both those phones, Android Marshmallow, which we've talked about on the show as well. You get things like Now on Tap, which integrates more searches and voice interaction into individual apps. Play Store advances, things like that are going to be launching on those phones and are available now. Any thoughts on these phones? Don't all jump at once.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They look nice enough. The fingerprint thing on the back is kind of interesting. I can't decide if that would be nice because you don't have to reach for it, or if it would be hard because you can't find it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got this kind of like little raised edge, and I didn't think about it until I picked up my phone. But when you hold your phone, where do you put your finger?
Yeah,
right on the back where and I never really thought about that. That's kind of an interesting idea. I know it's a big debate I've seen online. Where do you do the front or the back sensor? And I guess I don't know. I'd have to really use it to see if it's any good. But they claim it's better and it's faster and it's all those things.
Yeah, looking at the pictures of it where it is on the phone reminds me of like some of the like Android phones that used to have the camera there.
Yes, right in the
middle. Which was dumb for the exact opposite reason, because it's exactly where you were holding it.
Yup.
Do we talk about why the Chromecast looks so weird now?
We certainly can.
Yeah. Did they give an explanation for that? I didn't watch the event.
No, they just say, as far as I know, the key reason, the only like technical reason they gave for the different look on the new Chromecast is that because it has that bendable HDMI arm sticking out, it's going to be easier to plug into your TV and then it can just hang off, rather than, and so it doesn't stick off the side. Like, actually, believe it or not, on my TV, when my Chromecast is plugged in, it actually sticks out a little bit from the edge of the TV, so you can see it. So as far as I know, that's the only reason, other than the fact that it looks, for the colors, sense. I couldn't, I think that's more on them. But, yeah, as you mentioned, new Chromecast, still $35. The Wi-Fi is faster. It has a new look, as you described, the small little disc with the HDMI arm sticking out. 3 colors, red, yellow, black. And a few other features through the app, including being able to search through all the different places you can get content and suggesting content. Now Spotify supports it, in addition to Sling TV, NBA and NHL, and Showtime as well are all new. For the Chromecast. Do you guys use Chromecast at all?
My mom does. She'll listen to this episode eventually.
She can Chromecast it.
I'm not sure she actually does use it though, because I do think it is more difficult to use.
It's a pain. I got my mother one, and she had a very difficult time.
Yeah.
Especially when you're turning devices on and off, and it's a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is a little unrelated, but I figured out the thing, like, there's a thing, it's like an HDMI thing, I forget what it's called, that, like, will turn on your TV when you turn on your PlayStation type of thing.
Oh yeah, I did that too.
Yeah, it's incredibly slow, but it works. Actually, I don't think it's necessarily slow, it's just that the TV takes a long time to turn on, but it's very nice.
Now, is that the feature where you can control your TV through the HDMI?
I mean, that's effectively what it's doing, right? The PlayStation turns on and it's like, hey, TV, you should turn on.
Oh, but does it do it through the HDMI or through infrared?
No, it's through the HDMI.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because there is a standard for that. What is it? MHL? I think that's what it's called.
Is that the infrared one or the...
No, that's through HDMI. So there's a standard on new TVs where devices can control the TV functions through HDMI, turning it on and off, volume, channels, things like that.
Yeah. I don't know what the thing is actually called, because it's like all the TV manufacturers and like device manufacturers have their own like name for it, but it's all the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was cool. It'll also switch, like if you turn on your PlayStation and you're on like the cable input, it'll switch to the HDMI, which is nice.
Nice.
So it's like mildly more convenient. It doesn't turn off the TV, which is my one beef. But I don't know. Maybe I could probably make my TV do that or something by itself when nothing's plugged in.
Yeah, and those standards, I know they've improved them recently, so the newer TVs and newer devices are going to have more options and more control.
Yeah.
I will say, just as a reminder for picks, that I still love my Harmony remote that Dan suggested.
It is great.
It's fantastic. And I'm very thankful for that. So new Chromecast. I use mine to stream HBO Now, which does not have a Roku app, which I find very annoying, and Roku really needs to get on that because it's a giant pain. In addition to regular Chromecast, we had Chromecast Audio, also $35. This one, only music. You plug your 3.5mm audio jack into it, and it just streams straight audio out to whatever speaker you've plugged it into, supporting Google Play Music, Pandora, and now Spotify. And, of course, you can control it from the supporting apps, also casting mirroring audio from anywhere in Android or Chrome tabs. Available today at $35 a piece. They say next year it will support multi-Chromecast sync, so you'll be able to have a bunch of speakers all plugged into a bunch of Chromecasts, and they'll all play simultaneously, which is a dream and makes me so excited for this because I want to pick up like 3 or 4 of them, and then I can have Sonos at like a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sonos without paying for Sonos.
And that's something that AirPlay won't do natively. I don't think.
Sure? I think it does.
I'm not sure.
Nowadays.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a point at which AirPlay did not do that.
Okay.
But I don't think that's the case anymore.
Okay.
It may be the case that it's like a limited, maybe like you can definitely do it in iTunes. It's possible that you can't do it in certain situations.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think you can do it from the phone, for example. I don't see the option.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. We should find out. I know you can do it from iTunes though, because I've done it before. But I've
I thought I had done it also.
Yeah. At this point, my apartment is small enough that one speaker for the entire thing is sufficient. So.
Yep. For me too. It was just cool to try it one day.
Right. It's a nice idea. Yeah, maybe for future us that.
For future Dan and Colby, those assholes
in their mega mansions.
Yes, we can only assume.
Yes, of course. And lastly, Pixel C. You may know Google as the company that releases wildly expensive, really nice devices that people don't end up actually buying. They did it again. The Pixel C 10.2-inch tablet with a Surface-like detachable keyboard, NVIDIA X1 processor, 3 gigabytes of RAM, running Marshmallow touchscreen tablet. Starting at $499, though, you're going to add another $149 in with the keyboard, and then you add other accessories. It's going to run you quite a lot. They say it's going to be a premium product. Available in time for the holidays, though they haven't announced when that will be exactly, as well.
I thought I saw this, and I guess I must have breezed over it, and I thought it was Chrome OS.
Oh, I would actually get excited for that.
Yeah.
Android as a tablet OS does nothing for me.
No.
Nothing at all. Android as a phone, maybe. As a tablet, that does nothing for me.
Yep. It's a shame.
Yeah, hardware looks cool.
It does. Quite fancy.
So
my mom also uses an Android tablet, just so you know.
Yes. Is she part
She's
of the
a hipster.
Well, is she part of the team here that tries out the new gadgets and reports back? We're going to have her on to give her...
I guess she could be, yeah.
Our correspondent in the field.
Our Android correspondent.
I'll Google all the time. I love it. Does she have a Chromebook? We got to get her a Chromebook.
No, I don't think so. I think she would be very surprised by that. No Microsoft Word. I got a text for an email last week about Microsoft Word. It's very important.
Hey, Word 365 online. Word in the browser is actually pretty good.
That's I didn't think of that. I was sort of rushed. That's a good idea.
Yeah. I don't know how much of it is free though, because I know I get extra stuff as a 365 subscriber.
Yeah, but even if I don't have to worry about the licensing and upgrading the Windows and getting a new computer, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. Sync it to your OneDrive, because everyone loves their OneDrive.
Woo.
No, Microsoft. Keep trying. Cool. So any key takeaways?
Sorry, John Miller.
Yeah.
He doesn't work on OneDrive anymore. It's fine.
Hey, listen, you know me. I'm Mr. Microsoft. I will gladly rep. Even for the crappy stuff they do, like Windows 10. But anyway, gentlemen, any key takeaways from this Google announcement? We hit most of the key points. What anything here that you say, wow, ooh, or huh, or why? I'll quickly mention that the Nexus devices have always been interesting to me as a technology enthusiast, but I continue to be confused by Google's hardware strategy of whether or not they want to sell a lot of the products they announce. Because they announce things like the Pixel C, and that's clearly not intended to be sold to the masses. But then they announce a $35 Chromecast that they have in every Best Buy and Walmart they want the masses to buy. And then they announce Nexus phones that are great products, and they put no marketing behind it. And I just get really confused as to why they're doing this. Is it just an Android reference device? That's fine, but then I mean,
it very well may be. Like, given that they don't really advertise them, like, who else is going to buy them? Like, people who heard about it organically, and that's only nerds, pretty much. I don't know. It's like, it makes sense. I guess it makes sense. The Chromecast sort of makes sense. As like, that's how you get Android onto your TV type of thing, because none of the other Android TV stuff worked out. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
I mean, it's fine. And, the beauty is they don't manufacture these, right? Actually, Huawei is producing these phones this time around, which is a bit interesting. But so it's really no big skin off Google's back, other than the fact that they make a couple of nice Android phones, even if they don't sell a lot. So
yeah. I mean, it is a nice option. Like, it's nice that it exists for me as a person who is concerned with not having a bunch of crapware on my phone.
Oh yeah, as someone who knows technology, absolutely, I think it's a fantastic option if you're an Android fan. And I think any of the kind of gimmicky stuff Samsung puts on their phone isn't going to really do anything for the audience that's going to buy these phones.
Right.
So, the other interesting story that I took away from this was Chromecast versus Android TV, Colby, as you mentioned, with the company seemingly putting resources behind Chromecast, announcing a Chromecast second product with Chromecast audio, and yet we haven't heard a peep about Android TV in quite some time, at least I/O.
Yeah, that's true.
What is going on? I mean, does Android TV really have a future? And with Chromecast, does it need a future?
I mean, maybe not. Like, maybe that's what Google is betting on, like, your TV is just kind of a portal to whatever device you're using. I don't know. Maybe that works out. Like, I like that. I do enjoy that way of like using my devices. Like, sometimes my TV has like some sort of like link thing. It's not AirPlay and it's not Chromecast, but it has a built-in thing that like you can stream YouTube on. Mm-hmm. I use that sometimes. It's kind of nice to like pull it up on my phone. It like only works for my phone. But I don't know. Maybe that's what they're going. Maybe that's what they're betting on, right? As opposed to another $200 box or $150 box like the Apple TV or whatever that is another platform that people have to develop for, regardless of whether or not it's similar. It's still more work. So
I think the key thing is we just don't know. We just don't know. With Google, you can't know. I mean, their strategies are somewhere between secretive and baffling, and it's nearly impossible to guess.
Aren't they just
going to
be doing the same thing they do with their software products? Just put it out there, see if it succeeds on its own, and then
throw it at the wall, see what sticks. That's it.
That's what I was gonna say. Like maybe strategy is the wrong word, and experiments are better. Is a better.
Listen, you got that sweet Google money? You just try everything and hope you get a success. Like, if I were them, I'd be making awesome tablets that nobody buys and cool Chromecast and Android TV stuff. I mean, that's great. That's good for them. But as a consumer, I have no idea what Android TV is, and I guess they don't care.
What do you think the most successful piece of Google hardware is?
Well, if you include stuff they've purchased, it's probably got to be the Nest stuff, right? I mean, if you're talking currently selling, I would say some of the past Nexus phones have been relatively successful. And even some of the tablets, I had a Nexus tablet at one point. But currently selling, it's got to be the Nest stuff.
Oh, could be, yeah. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Chromecast would probably be a good guess, too. I think at $35, even people just generally interested are probably going to buy one.
Yeah,
it's low barrier to entry. But what other hardware does... Chromebooks got to be their biggest hardware. But they don't. Yeah. But they don't make... See, the thing is, Google doesn't make a lot of that.
Yeah, they don't make those.
The phones, too, they don't make them. The Chromecast they make, and the Nest they make.
I think there's a difference between the Chromecast. They more make the Nexus phones than they do the Chromecast. Like, they don't get up at Google I/O and say, here's the Nexus Chromebook. That's what I meant, not Chromecast, sorry. They say, here's a platform, and then Samsung makes the Chromebook. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very different.
They make the Pixel. See, they make the Pixel.
But how many of those do you think they sold?
Oh, no, not many at all. I'm just the distinction between what I mean by making. They don't have like a manufacturing plant in Mountain View.
They're not responsible for the sales, the sales channels and even the marketing to some degree.
I would say the Chromecast probably is the most successful.
It is interesting. Google as a hardware company is fascinating. You look at even look at Google Glass. I mean, it's I don't know.
The biggest experiment of them all.
Remember Google Glass?
Oh man, we were so psyched.
I know.
So psyched. God, and they showed that awesome promo video. Remember when they had them skydive live?
Yeah.
Oh, and they did the bike trick.
That was the best tech demo of all time.
Clear, really without doubt. And I would have plunked down any amount of money to have it. And then a year later, we're like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Oh, Lord. That was
clearly not any amount of money because you didn't get one.
It's true. I didn't. I'm glad none of us did. That would have been probably high up on the regrettable list.
Yeah.
I did consider it, but...
This is back when you had the haze of San Francisco addling your brain.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure that's the one place on Earth it would have been cool to wear Google Glass. So
no, it wasn't cool.
No, really,
it was like
very frowned upon.
I think people made some assumptions about you. If you maybe not, so I'll say maybe there were people around the office who wore Google Glass, and I don't think that was weird. But people on the street. I feel like you're begging to get beat up or something if you're wearing a Google Glass on the street like a jerk.
Could you imagine?
Which totally defeats the point, right? If you can't wear it around everywhere, then
I like to imagine Colby with Google Glass on a Segway, going down the street, going to a Jamba Juice or something.
Version of Colby.
I'm on my way to Whole Foods. I'll be right back.
Do they have Whole Foods in California?
I feel like they must. Yes, they do. They definitely do. Yeah.
They don't
have Dunkin' Donuts.
Right. Well, they do now in LA or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's 6 hours away from anything that was relevant to me.
Too little, too late?
Yeah.
You already lost Colby. Too bad.
I couldn't hold out.
You're bad, Duncan. Cool.
Well, it's not their bad. I came back.
That's true. They got you back.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to go to the West Coast. You came to them.
I patronize Duncan all the time.
I bet. Can't go 5 feet in Boston without running into a Dunkin'.
That's the way I like it.
God, amazing.
Then that's the best, because then you can go to the good Dunkin' instead of the bad Dunkin'.
That's how you know you've lived in New England too long.
Yeah.
You know which ones are the good Dunkin' Donuts and the bad Dunkin' Donuts. You're like, don't go to that one. Go to that one.
Wow.
That's fantastic. Dan, do you do that with like Starbucks in New York City?
No, because
You go to all like the nice places.
right, yeah.
The
There's
drip
just
coffee
two different
and the-
coffee places you can go to, and neither of them are Starbucks.
There you go.
So I can think there are 4 different coffee places within a 5-minute walk of my apartment that are not Starbucks.
That's
Probably
actually,
as many Starbucks.
That's actually the case for me as well.
Really?
Actually, there's not 4. There's 3.
Okay.
So 2 of them are. So one is new. One is in a weird, secluded spot and almost never open. And the other.
See, now that one immediately appeals to me.
Intrigue.
Yeah, that's the New York way of operating business.
It's funky. It's like nice. I like the people who run it. But it's rarely it's a coin toss as to whether or not it's going to be open, as far as I can tell. But I like the new one a lot. Yeah, I'm the mayor of the new one in Foursquare.
So if you're looking for fine places to consume coffee in the greater Manhattan, Boston area, contact Dan Miller and or Colby Rabideau. All right. Can you believe we've done almost 40 minutes and we've done 2 stories? I mean, the Google one was a big one. So
it's called Coffee and Beer.
And
Coffee and Beer. Come on.
We're chugging along. I love it. See what I did there. Stories, gentlemen.
No.
Anything else on this rundown you want to talk about? We've got Amazon booting Apple TV and Chromecast off the store. We've got.
Oh yeah, that was so dumb.
We got to talk about that, don't we?
I was angry.
Let's talk about it. Amazon. You may know them as the internet's largest retailer. Everything from
provider
A to Z.
of excellent smartphone devices, manufacturer.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they've decided to ban sales of Apple TV, Chromecast, and Android TV Nexus player, in case you forgot that existed, from the retail store, including partner stores. Their official explanation, well, they didn't give an official explanation. The spokesperson did say in a statement, over the last 3 years, Prime Video has become an important part of Prime. It's important that the streaming media players we sell interact well with Prime Video in order to avoid customer confusion. Roku, Xbox, PlayStation, and Fire TV are excellent choices. And they didn't say anything more than that. So,
oh my God.
If you ask them, it's because those devices don't support Prime Video.
Now, here's my question. Like, why? Why don't they? And
Which
is
were the
that
ones that
because...
Apple
the Apple
TV, Chromecast, and Nexus player. Android
What's a
TV.
Nexus player?
Android TV.
Oh, it's obvious, Colby.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but like, whose fault is that? Is that Amazon's choice, or is that?
No,
like,
I don't think
Apple
so.
and
Because
Google's choice.
You could integrate Chromecast, no problem. They're pretty open. Apple TV, the new Apple TV, it's still not a completely open app store yet, right? It will be.
Yeah.
I mean, it will be on the new one though.
So you may still need Apple's permission. Chromecast,
it's not a completely open app store,
No.
but I feel like you could make an Amazon Prime Video app for the new Apple TV.
I think Apple would have them.
It's not like they made a new. That would defeat the whole purpose of having apps on the TV if you can't put a streaming service on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is just dumb. If I were to buy an Apple TV, which I do want to, I would have bought it on Amazon, and now I'm not going to.
Yeah. Well, the thing about this that makes the least sense to me is that they don't call out Roku, who is if you're assuming they're doing this because these are competitors to their Fire TV product, which is what a lot of people think, well, Roku is absolutely a competitor, maybe their number one competitor, but they don't call them out.
They're also competitors in like
in the content, in
content
tablets
services,
and other devices, and I get that, but it's just they're specifically calling out Apple and Google, these large companies that they compete with in a number of places, and it's just such a just such a weird thing to do. Like, if you're going to do this, then what you should do is on the page for the Chromecast, put a big banner at the top that says, hey, check out Fire TV. Like, that would make more sense. It's your website, but I just think it's weird that they pull the product. Not only that Amazon sells, but that, if you're one of the people who, if I were to sell a Chromecast on Amazon, I couldn't. They totally block that.
Oh, weird. That's bizarre.
Yeah. It's
petty.
It's like when Apple didn't
certainly
let Google. They didn't let them make. Remember when Apple wouldn't let Google make a Google Voice app for iOS?
Yeah.
Back when Google Voice was good. Mm-hmm. This is like that. There's no reason people are going to get confused between the Google Voice app and the phone app. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh well, Amazon. I guess I'm going to have to buy my Apple TV from Apple.
Well, and what this tells me most of all is that don't expect a Prime Video app on Apple TV or Chromecast anytime soon.
But that's that.
I know it sucks for consumers. That's really who is losing in this fight. It's not about Amazon or Apple or Google. It's about the consumer.
Well, then if I have an Apple TV, I'll just buy an Apple then.
Well,
yeah,
it's probably the way to go.
I mean, especially because I don't buy movies digitally unless I really, really want to watch it right now. And the only way to do it is to buy. I did that for Guardians of the Galaxy. So I rent something on Amazon or I rent something on Apple TV. They cost the same amount of money, and they're both going away after 2 days. I'm not locked into anything. Now I can take them both offline, which was previously the advantage with
iTunes.
iTunes, yeah. So if they're not going to be on my device, then I'll just use iTunes. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
I'm not locked into Amazon. They give me nice dollar off coupons sometimes. But I haven't got one of those in a long time, actually. Remember the free instant video, like $1? You quick, retweet this tweet or click on this link and you get a free $1 credit. I haven't had one of those in a long time.
Don't they do the thing now where if you...
the slow shipping credit.
Right.
Oh, right.
I use that a lot for things I'm in no rush to get. I made sweet bank on slow-ass shipping, I'll tell you. I've done good.
I'm always in a rush.
Colby's like, I need it now.
Colby, I'm
Free
always
things
in a
be
rush
damned.
for Avenue.
By the way, I watched, this is such a non sequitur. Did you guys see Age of Ultron?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it this weekend. I thought it was really mediocre.
I thought about watching it this weekend.
It was fine.
It was fine. I was glad Hawkeye finally got some screen time. I used to think he was kind of lame, and I'm like, actually, you know what? I don't think he's that bad.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
With the dude with the
I heard it was really average.
If you're gonna do all the Marvel movies, you kind of have to watch it, and it's not terrible. It's just not their best work.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't as enjoyable as the first Avengers.
No. And if you're gonna see Ant-Man, I thought was even better. I liked Ant-Man.
Oh, really?
That was a good movie.
Nice. I want to see The Martian. I think that's
yes.
Yeah, I need to read it.
Yeah, I got to read it too. I got to just read in general.
Well, did you finish Seven Eves yet?
No, but I read for another 8 hours last night. I'm 50% through, or nice. I'm in the high 40s or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're in space now?
Yeah, they're in space. The world has ended. They're trying to retrieve the comet.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Ah, so good.
That's the extent of the spoilers.
Yeah.
Not that was really a spoiler, but
I don't know. In the little first sentence tells you what's going to happen.
I mean, you read the synopsis, and I knew that, and I haven't read the book, but no more spoilers. We have time to super quickly cover if there's anything else in here before we go to picks. There's nothing in here too stressful that I think has to be hit this week, but that's up to you guys.
So you both watched Silicon Valley, right?
Yes.
I'm not up to date on Silicon Valley.
Did the first season have the crazy douchey
the
VC
Mark Cuban guy?
Yeah, where he's like, I want a car, the doors go like this.
Or like this, not like this.
Yeah. that was the first
awesome.
thing I thought of when I saw this Tesla story.
Nice.
Yeah, we can certainly quickly mention Tesla X finally officially announced. They've announced this quite a long time ago. We knew it was coming. This isn't a surprise. But we did get a few little details. It's kind of like the S, except it's bigger. It's like one of those crossover SUVs. It's all-wheel drive, and it's a little bigger. It's technically 3 rows, although they say the last row is like super, super small. So there you go. It's got that ludicrous mode where you're going to go stupid fast, 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. That's the same as a Porsche 911 Turbo, and that's in a crossover SUV, so you're going to go fast. They claim about 250 mile range with the current pack, and they say down the road they're going to be able to extend that. And, best of all, it's got those awesome Gull-wing doors. They have a hinge in the middle, so they don't open. It's not DeLorean style where they're straight out. They actually like bend in the middle so they don't whack into the cars next to you or your garage door or whatever. People standing there. It's got sensors in it. Elon Musk said he thought of it when he was putting his kids in and out of the car. And he said, wouldn't it be easy if the whole door just disappeared rather than having to swing it or slide it? It also had a biological attack mode. Did you read about this?
No.
So it's got hidden in the. It's not really hidden, but deep in one of the menus, it has a button that you push. I kid you not, and this was announced. You push in the event of a biological attack, and according to Elon Musk, and this has been kind of disputed by some biological experts, but he claims there is an air filter in there that is hospital grade, and that when you push that button, it will actually lock out the air system and will filter all the air coming into the car in case there is some sort of biological attack. And now that I've said biological attack 3 or 4 times, I'm now on some kind of watch list. So
this YouTube link will be taken down.
Glad we talked about this. So, yes, there you go. Kind of one of those wacky Elon Musk things.
Yep.
You can get your Model X now for the low price of $155,000. Order today. Tell them Sean sent you.
Don't
you get a referral bonus there, Sean?
Yes, I get a free Tesla every time I sell one. So, any other thoughts on the Model X?
Nah.
It'll be a big deal when we see the Model 3 come next year, which is their cheaper one. They're saying will be around $35,000, which is much more approachable. That'll be interesting. This is just another rich person car.
Just another.
Unlike us, who are not rich person cars. Okay. Picks galore. I'm going to volunteer to go first. I usually make one of you two go first, but I'll go first this time. Because I got to pick. It's funny, on iOS you can go into your battery life section and see which apps you use the most. This app I use the most by a massive margin. I look at this app more than I look at the home screen. I kid you not. Like 25% of the time I'm on my phone, I'm using this one app. So it has to be good. What app is that? It is Tweetbot. Tweetbot 4. I'm surprised I haven't picked Tweetbot before on the show. I've been using Tweetbot 3 for a while. They just announced their new update, and it's fantastic. The one thing that was missing from Tweetbot 3 that I liked about the default Twitter app was the activity feed. So you could see all the favorites and retweets and new followers all in a single feed. Now in Tweetbot 4, really well integrated. I will also say, finally an iPad app. Tweetbot 3 was not iPad configured. It now looks really, really great on iPad. It works with all the new split-screen iPad features, if that's your thing. And I can just flash up. I'll do the cheap version. I could AirPlay it, but I'll do the cheap version where you're going to see the... you can see there, it's really nice format. You see the activity feed there on one side, and then you see the tweets on the other. And it's really well formatted, and it just... I don't know. I just think it's just a really quality Twitter app, and if you've tried the rest, now try the best. It is available. It is $4.99. But as I said, I spend enough time in this, I would have paid twice that easily. And check it out. That's just my personal pick for Twitter apps. Tweetbot 4 available on iOS and also for your Mac. So check that out as well.
So Sean,
yes.
I used to use Tweetbot 3, and then I switched to the Twitter app recently for some of the reasons you mentioned. I liked the activity feed specifically, and I also liked push notifications. Is that I don't remember.
Only some push notifications worked in Tweetbot 3, but they all work for this one. So you'll get a tweet if someone favorites your tweet.
Retweets,
if someone
new
follows
followers,
you.
direct messages, and you can toggle those. And notifications, from my experience, work really well.
I'm gonna have to check it out then.
Yeah, I think it's worth a try. I've tried Twitterific and Twitter and all these different ones, and I keep coming back to Tweetbot. But again, you have a lot of choice out there. It's gonna be personal preference. So try them all.
Definitely
check it out. Tweetbot 4. Colby, let's talk about you and your pal Hulu.
Yeah, well, pal's a strong word.
The thing you don't hate anymore.
Yeah, well, I've had Hulu for a while. Like, there are a bunch of shows. Like, it's nice to watch things when they come out and not pay for them on Prime. But it was always like Hulu was always like the absolute last option. Like, if you couldn't get it anywhere else, but it was on Hulu, I'd watch it on Hulu because the ads make me want to kill myself. It like just made me angry. Like, I would enjoy the show, but I was always a little mad every 30 seconds when they put a minute and a half of ads. So I signed up for the commercial-free Hulu the other day, and just today I watched the most recent episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And there were no ads, and it was so confusing because like every time they put the commercials in where it cuts to commercial, and it was like it got kind of tense when it cut to commercial because I was ready to bitch about it. But then it just went straight into the show, and it blew my mind. So I'm excited to save like minutes and hours and probably days of my life long term by not seeing any ads. So yeah, it's great. It's like if Hulu were Netflix. Now it is. It's a green Netflix.
When you put it that way, it's like it pays for itself with all the time you're saving.
It's true.
Cool. Yeah, check it out. Hulu's doing good stuff, and they just added they got a new deal with Epic, so they just added a ton of name brand movies, your Hunger Games and your World War Z's and your Wolf of Wall Streets and a whole bunch of new movies as well. So nice. You can check that out. Good stuff happening over at the Hulu. Dan, you've got some cellular telephone accessories to sell us.
Yeah, it's not that exciting because I wasn't expecting to have a pick this week. But I did get the iPhone leather case, a nice, cool brown-looking one, which I thought online looked pretty dumb, but it actually looks pretty legit. Yeah. And it's nice. I liked it better than all the other Apple iPhone cases. I've never had an Apple iPhone case because I've never really liked them. It feels really nice in the hand. It's grippy. It's pretty thin. And it's pretty much all I needed. So if you've not liked Apple iPhone cases before, maybe try the new ones. And that's my pick.
iPhone 6S leather case available in 5 colors. Blue, navy, like a mud red.
Yeah, the colors are so confusing.
Silver.
They're mostly feminine-looking colors, and then there's just black.
Yeah, and black. Always black leather.
And navy.
Yeah. And the brown, which actually I like the brown. That's a good look.
Yeah, I thought it looked a little too light online, but in person in the store, it's much darker.
Yeah, it looks nice. $45 on the Apple Store. Get it online or in store. And we'll have links to all these picks, although it's Hulu.com or Apple.com or whatever. But go to the website anyway. Don'tPanic.io. All the links to all this week's picks, last week's picks, all the picks we've ever done are there. In addition to audio, video, and as I've said at the top of the show, all the links. Don'tPanic.io. It's one-stop shop. You're going to love it. Gentlemen, anything else for the fine folks of America before we conclude?
No.
Nope.
I have to think of a thing to say next time for these things.
Yes. I'll have to give you more notice.
Well, watch us play Dungeons and Dragons. If I roll a 20, everyone has to watch. It was an 8, so no one has to watch.
Damn it! You really set us up for failure on that one. Yes.
I didn't show you, so I could have just said it.
Be like, yeah, totally 20. Yeah, watch. Yeah, as Dan mentioned, GoldilocksShow.com and SoundCloud.com/GoldilocksShow. This week we're definitely doing it. I will have internet this time around.
Well, you don't know that.
Well, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident.
Maybe Time Warner just really doesn't want this to happen.
Maybe they're onto us. They're onto our game. And one other thing I will mention as well. Sorry, gentlemen. Based on my schedule, I don't think we're going to have an episode next week because of the holiday.
Good thing we ended up having one this week.
I know, and we're breaking our streak. We've done like 4 or 5 in a row, and I hate to break the streak, but that's on me.
That's okay.
That's on me.
I forgive you.
Oh, Dan Miller's such a sweetheart. What a nice guy. So join us in 2 weeks for a new episode of Don't Panic. On behalf of Colby and Dan, I'm Sean, and we'll thank you for watching, and we'll hope you'll join us next time for a new episode of Don't Panic.